Once upon a time, there was born a man who had no illusions about anything. He quickly found out that Santa Claus was non-existent, that God was dead, that innocence was a fraud and guilt a disease, that happiness was a myth and despair a pose, and that vice was no more interesting than virtue. His name was Henry.
We asked for volunteers, and here I am sorry to report to you that we have no volunteers.
There ain't no free lunch, and you're right, because that's exactly what's happening.
Wonderful.
Toaster, an automatic Toastmaster toaster, or an imported simulated pearl necklace. Now here's your question.
Done.
Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Opinions expressed are not necessarily those.
And dumbfounded, and believe it or not, there is a way you can know, believe it or not. Whether you believe it or not, there still is a way you can know.
He took up carpentry. But construction work, like everything else, had its betrayals. Wood cracking, paint chipping away, nails rusting, walls leaning, gutters filling with leaves, inch by inch, day after day. The futility of it all was to be expected. What he had not expected was sabotage. And so Henry became a termite exterminator. On warm, sunny days, he invaded damp basements and crawl spaces. He lost track of time, made reconnaissance missions in the middle of the night, planned elaborate counter-sabotage, tracked down every clue to their whereabouts. Eventually, in most cases, he had to face direct combat with the enemy. They were insidious, unscrupulous, fascinating. For better or worse, termites became his life. On Sundays, he went to the park, threw stale bread to the gulls and ducks. He knew they would be just as hungry again tomorrow, wouldn't remember him from the next bag of bread. But he was not looking for gratitude. He was a realist, a completely illusionless man. One day, there came to the park A girl who believed in everything. Her name was Laura Bell. Laura Bell believed in providence and butterflies, romance and statuary.
I thought you were a statue. No, against the clouds you look so heroic. It was nice.
Conversation was awkward at first. Henry hadn't talked to anyone but termites for some time. And to break that silence now seemed foolhardy. Nevertheless, in spite of himself, Henry stuck around. And so they began to see each other. They spent mornings feeding ducks and smelling flowers, and afternoons arguing about providence and butterflies, happiness and despair. Their vocabularies seemed to be mutually exclusive. Everything Laura Bell took for granted, Henry had dispensed with long ago. Everything he undermined, she cheerfully upheld. From immortal love to deathless art.
Good morning. Henry, your apartment is so bright and airy, it looks like the studio of a painter, a sculptor.
Don't have the eyes for it.
You have lovely eyes. Yes, you do. Sometimes they're blue. Sometimes they're green.
I have a...
And you have little... Wait till I open up. Little specks of brown.
I have an astigmatism.
They're beautiful eyes, really.
And I have granulated eyelids.
Do you know they're almost exactly the same color as mine?
Yeah?
Silly. It means that we were meant for each other.
By whom?
Don't you believe in anything?
Mm-hmm.
What?
The law of averages?
Oh. Look at those beautiful carvings.
Yep.
Haven't you always wanted a church wedding?
I never even wanted a church.
Why should you want a church?
Why should I want a wedding?
Wouldn't you like to walk down the aisle in a morning coat?
Mourning. That's the word for it.
Oh, and a gray silk cravat and a white carnation.
I like to walk down the aisle in a white carnation, period.
It's a sacrament.
It's a sacrifice.
Besides, symbols are important.
Well, then let's be honest about it and stand in front of the Washington Monument.
Henry, you're making fun of a holy sacrament. Exchange of vows before man and God.
Before a bunch of women weeping for their own lost innocence and a lot of old men looking down your bodice and the minister...
And forsaking all others, keep thee only unto her, so long as ye both shall live.
I will.
Laura Bell.
I will.
Uncle John.
And so they were man and wife. They rented a small cottage with the standard conveniences, and Laura Bell furnished the decorations. Laura Bell's surprises were inexhaustible. Every month a new pet. Every dinner a new dessert.
Open.
What is it?
It's a termite cake. For you, in honor of your work. Blow out the candles before they burn the marshmallows.
It's devil food?
Yes, sweetheart, your very favorite kind.
But in the shape of a termite.
Well, it's a worker termite, actually. It's not a king or a queen or anything. I copied it out of a book in the library. Henry, I want to know all about your work. I want you to feel that you can talk to me about it, about anything.
You've really been reading up on termites?
Well, I've just started, really. But I'll keep at it until we can discuss the subject as equals.
I tell you what, Laura Bell, why don't you take this into the kitchen and cut it up into squares and rearrange it? And then bring it back in without the grass.
But then it won't look like a termite.
That's true.
You don't like it?
I like it, but I exterminate them. I don't eat them. Laura Bell. What the hell? Have a drumstick.
Tirelessly, Laura Bell created her fragile illusions. Every night a new perfume or a new nightgown. Henry had to admit that he liked these elegant mirages, that it was good to sleep with Laura Bell. He became less gloomy, but not much. Henry indulged Laura Bell in some of her fantasies, ignored others, gradually realized that what she wanted most was the impossible, a declaration of love. And then one morning, Laura Bell had a new kind of surprise. Undaunted, Laura Bell continued to prepare for the baby.
Are you praying?
Mm-hmm.
For the baby?
No.
For what?
That someday you'll say you love me. Do other women attract you?
Of course.
Some men are not like that.
Some men are liars.
She read Henry books on baby care, told herself that he really did love her, was only afraid to say so. Probably wanted the baby as much as she did. But that became harder and harder to believe.
Do you know I lost it? Because you don't love me.
There's no connection.
You've made up your mind about that too, haven't you? Henry, I want a divorce.
That's ridiculous.
Laura Bell moved out, but with no more mention of divorce. Looking for a job, Laura Bell discovered the theater, auditioned for Ophelia, was hired for the box office. The working quarters were a little cramped, but she quickly became attached to the view.
We're so fortunate to have Cyrus with our troupe. He's reviving the art of poetry reading. He's striking fire from the dead wood of the stage. Audiences love him. He seems to make everyone around him feel more alive, more impassioned, more... Now that I'm so much closer to Cyrus, I understand his secret. He celebrates life. He spends it, devours it, as if each day were to be his last. With Cyrus, the smallest act is a performance. The largest landscape is his stage. Oh, he's such a beautiful person.
By summer, Cyrus and Laura Bell were planning to run off to Mexico together as soon as they had enough money in their secret bank account. Laura Bell was counting the days. That autumn, Laura Bell went to the seacoast in search of herself. She spent her nights on an autobiographical novel, her days lost in introspection. And then one day, she came across a fisherman named Jim. Just plain Jim.
I never realized life could be so uncomplicated, so pure. Like Jim himself, straight as a fir tree, strong as a rock, weathered by the pounding surf. His spirit is as free as the sea itself. His only laws are nature's own. And yet sometimes he's so boyish, so innocent. I think I must be the first woman in his life. The weather's changing. Getting more dangerous, Jim says. He won't let me go out in the boat with him now. And even when he comes back, he seems withdrawn sometimes. But I can learn to accept his moods. Like the tides and the storms. I will stand by him, come what may.
Plain Jim, however, had 3 last names and a wife with each one. Laura Bell wept for days finally burned her navigation charts, her tide tables, and her manuscript. Laura Bell returned to Henry, and he took her back. But neither of them could say why. She told Henry she had come to a painful realization. What she needed was professional help. Anything less was self-deception. So she looked in the yellow pages and found Dr. Milton Tugwell.
Analysis is so difficult to know where to begin, to establish enough rapport to allow all of one's pent-up emotions to erupt through the layers of repression which have built up over so many years. It's such an incredible coincidence to have found the one analyst who was right for me. What we have between us is a unique affinity. He knows what I'm thinking before I say it. Sometimes before I know I'm thinking it. It's amazing the way he puts these things together like the pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. I never realized life was so full of ambiguity and paradox. By now, of course, I feel completely at ease in Dr. Tugwell's office. Just knowing he's there behind the couch gives me such confidence. Perhaps because I've come to realize that this is not just a one-way relationship. I feel that I'm more than just another patient in his eyes. I'm a person, a woman. And just as my feelings for him have matured beyond mere transference, I sense that Milton is being changed by this experience, too. He's held back, of course, by ethics of his profession. I understand that, but part of it is his own natural reticence. And that will change in time. Henry said that he hadn't seen any change in me since I've been coming to see you. He said I was just the same person I was before I ever started analysis, and he wasn't going to pay a penny more for it. And this was to be the end of it.
Well, that's reasonable. After all, every analysis has to come to an end sometime.
Laura Bell's shock was almost unbearable. But as Henry could have predicted, not quite. She launched off again and again. Laura Bell picked up a few gray hairs and wrinkles, left behind a few more illusions. Still, something about her stayed young. But these same years made Henry older than his age. He drank more, worked less. His struggle with the termites became a war of attrition to which they were more naturally adapted. He often wondered why he kept at it. Finally, one morning, Henry surrendered to all termites everywhere and stayed in bed. After Henry had been in bed for a week, Laura Bell realized that she had been appointed breadwinner. So she became an inventor, designed a hat pin that would neither fall out of hats nor prick fingers. It was bound to make them rich. She sent a drawing to the patent office, bought Henry a pair of woolen slippers, went to a favorite florist, and picked out a small bunch of jonquils to decorate the big steak she was going to cook. Then, to find out about Henry's health, she went to a fortune teller.
It's not good, my dear.
Terrified, she spent her last $2 on a sweepstakes ticket to cancel out the prediction.
Sweetheart, you're up. Oh, it's such a beautiful day outside. I wish you could get out and get some fresh air. I have some presents for you. Oh, please, now try these on. Give me your foot. Oh, it's so cold. Oh, feel how warm these are.
I'm thirsty.
There isn't any more money. Henry.
What is this trash?
I don't want you to die.
I can't shut up.
Oh!
The next morning, Henry woke up early, felt restless, wanted to do something, but didn't know what.
Let's go for a walk.
Hello? Yes, it is. Would you just a minute? Don't go away. Yes, it's in his name. I'll tell him. Henry, you've won the Irish sweepstakes.
Yeah.
Yes, darling, I bought the ticket for you, $137,000. I wanted you to win so much, and now you have. Oh, now won't you believe in miracles a little?
It won't be much after taxes.
Oh, you...
The dream was over. It was all a mistake. Another man, same name, almost the same number. Having expected everything, Laura Bell crumbled. But Henry had expected nothing. He went back to work, construction work. And on top of termite-proof pilings, finally Henry built a house of his own. He used double-thick glass, extra heavy bracing, waterproof varnishes, non-corrosive metals, all guaranteed in the best illusory style to last forever. The fire destroyed everything, and they moved back into the city. By spring, Henry was planning another house. Laura Bell was full of excitement about it, told Henry not to worry about the cost. Already she was sending in box tops, writing jingles, working puzzles, was sure to win all the money needed. The very next day, she was going to borrow a shovel and start on a treasure hunt sponsored by a newspaper.
I love you.
But you always said that love...
I know. I love you anyway.
So Henry went deep into debt and planted a garden. Not of hollyhocks or marigolds, but of concrete. Tons of it. Good, gray concrete. Impervious to lightning, unappetizing to termites. He built the huge slabs into the rock of the mountain. From roof to foundation, this house was reinforced, insulated, prepared for any shock. Laura Bell knew they would never have to move again. Henry knew differently. It had cost a fortune. They couldn't keep up the payments. The bank turned it over to a university for a seismographic station. It was a depressing winter. Losing another house sent Laura Bell's spirits to a new low. But even after working on houses for other people each day, Henry devoted his evenings and weekends to new plans of his own.
Fallout.
Is it? How are you?
Where are you going?
A seminar. A group meditation seminar. I told you about it.
What are you putting your lips on so thick?
I have to block them yet.
And you got those phony things on. What are those phony things on your eyes?
Eyelashes. Don't you like them?
Where are you going?
To my meditation. Our leader, Semmelrod. He's a great spiritual personality. Genuine mystic, I'm convinced of that. Well, he feels since I started the class late that I might need some special help. He's a very kind and generous person. And he's offered to give me some of his time if I come in early this evening.
Well, you're not going in early this evening. In fact, you're not going in at all this evening.
He's such a sweet, kind
You're
man.
staying right here, Laura Bell. You're not going to go out with that fake.
Henry, you're not going to stand in the way of my spiritual development.
So they became a family. And what Henry finally built for them was an ordinary house of ordinary wood, vulnerable to termites, lightning, banks, and countless other dangers. But it was a home for them and for their daughter, Noelle. Noelle's loveliness presented a new illusion, that she might somehow remain the perfect, the permanent child. Noelle was barely 18 when she met, somewhere, Fall Buck Wheeling. Henry tried to overcome his visceral reactions, to be civil, to make conversation, to understand the boy. But aside from a few monosyllabic cynicisms, Fall Buck's vocabulary was limited to one subject and intended for one audience. Slowly but surely, he had his effect on Noelle. She forgot about her horse, her piano, and her parents. But Fall Buck was impossible to forget about for any of them. Laura Bell suggested they might be in love. But Henry's suggestions were along different lines. With every exchange of words, the gulf widened between them. And the more that was said, the less that was heard. Noelle was gone now, living above a garage with Fallbuck. Whenever Laura Bell brought up the matter, Henry retreated into a deep silence. Over and over, they fought about nothing. Withdrew in bitter silence, took refuge alone and apart until the wounds healed. And like the paint chipping, the nails rusting, the walls leaning, Henry grew gray and stooped, building and rebuilding houses, loving and unloving Laura Bell. And in all that he did, he could see himself striving toward a condition of love or truth or goodness that did not exist. But he stayed with it because he knew there wasn't anything else.